The ebbs and flows of flow with Joella. I just finished going through an emotional release, so I'm very slow at the moment. But I wanted to document this time for myself because I was going through a certain flow of emotions that I didn't expect to go through. And so I wanted to acknowledge them, to remember them. So when I get back into writing, I write about it later. I wanted to start recording myself at in the moment, like to snap my fingers and just have it record, but it doesn't work that way. Finding the phone was a process, so it kind of took me out of my state a bit. We talk about recognizing patterns and then learning to let go of them and then release them. And one of the biggest parts about the flow of cycle is the flow of bleeding and releasing. It's symbolic, literally and emotionally, figuratively, all of the above. I am so grateful for my tea. This is the Infinite 8. I'm still working on the Complete 9. That'll be coming out sometime soon, once I'm done with my flow and I can think straight. I haven't done a video about flow, cycle, bleeding, and free bleeding or any of that in a while. I made a few videos about it last year when I was first starting out becoming a free bleeder. And there were some points, because when I started I was at home all the time, so it was in my happy place. And there were some points where I was traveling or working during my flow and felt that was a huge mistake and didn't want to do that again. But the dates for the next event, I should be good because I'm in flow now and these are different dates than that. It's like a week and a half later or something, the dates. So I'm looking forward to it. This new moon is in Pisces, so it was all about water, another flow concept. One of my favorite things that we did for self-care was we went to the Gingham Spa when we were in Houston, Texas, and they have this one bath with the hot water with mugwort, so it's like a mugwort tea bath. So I ordered the mugwort. It was supposed to be here by now, but they messaged me it was going to be late, so now I've been waiting. I was hoping to take it, but hopefully I'll fall asleep and then wake up to it being here. Who knows? However the universe works it out, it works out. Yeah, it's supposed to alleviate skin irritations, anxiety, abdominal pain or whatever. So I'm like all excited waiting for it to come, because when I tried it in the spa it was great. I mean, I didn't want to get out of that bath, but at the same time, there was so much to do. So I did go in it twice. So yeah, that's what I made sure to go in it at least twice. I liked it that much. But back to Flow itself. Technically, what time is it? 5:44 p.m. Friday, February 24th. So I guess we started about 5:41 because I've been talking for 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just say 5:40 on Friday afternoon. What did I say? Was it 23rd or the 22nd? Oh my god. 24th. See. Okay. Friday the 24th. February. Yeah. So I got home, and when I I don't know, I stayed up till that next morning because I got home like 11 at night, and I didn't go to sleep till almost 9 in the morning. And then I just slept. And then when I woke up, my flow started. I was like, okay, makes sense. Because that's what usually happens right before my flow. I'll like sleep a lot as my body will build up for the release. Yeah, I like taking the time and doing what my body wants me to do. Because I've noticed over the years that anytime I didn't do something my body wanted to do, that's when I would build up more tension in my body or anxiety in my body. And that would be depressing because then I wasn't able to do everything I wanted to do. Yeah, I always practiced yoga and stretching ever since I was, can remember like 3 or before 3, with my grandma and stuff. I used to watch Jack LaLanne. If there's any older listeners, you know who that is. If not, Google it. He made a great juicer. I still use it. Anyway. Ebbs and flows. Emotional releases. It's funny because when I was at the airport, that's when my sister started messaging me. Hadn't talked to me in 2 months. I meant to say just family member. I don't usually say straight out like that, but it came out that way because I'm in a lot of pain and I'm not fully cognizant of exactly what I'm saying. Which sucks because I don't edit my videos. So, anyway. It was hard enough the last time with the recycled patterns. And then again this time, it's like my body just can't take it anymore. My heart can't take it anymore. Yeah. It's part of the reason why my son's so disconnected. It's because, like, it just seems like every family member does this tug and pull thing, and, like, all he wants is consistency, and no one wants to do that but me. I don't know. I would like to have consistency with a family member, but without judgment. Yeah. Like, that was one of my hardest things with my relationship with my partners too. So I just wanted to have that. If we were going to be partners, if we were going to be a unit, to work as a unit. But it never seemed to work out that way. They were always more interested in doing for themselves than working together. Hearing loud music, I don't know where it's coming from though. My son's asleep. Must be the neighbors. I'm just feeling my muscle spasms from the flow, so I'm a little bit delayed with my commentaries. It's funny when I'm tired and I can't sleep, I'll get this twitch on the inside left part of my knee. And like I'll do different things to try to release it, but it doesn't usually let go. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on right now, without pulling my legs out from under the blanket. But the ebbs and flows of flow. So I guess you'd say I've been in flow for like a day and a half now. Going on my second day. I think I got to nourish 2 plants. Trying to remember. Yeah. Okay, yeah, 2 plants. I haven't really been able to collect yet. I've been in too much pain to stay awake to do that. Hopefully tonight I'll be able to do a collection for the rest of the plants, because I know they need it. Just practicing a little stretching while talking to ease some pain. If you watch my yoga videos before, I bring the one leg up and I keep, so it's kind of if you put it next to the body, it's like the shape of an H. Goes one leg straight down and the other one's bent up. But if you were to close the leg to the leg, it could look like a P. I don't know. But I was including the upper part of my body as part of the H. But with the P, I'm not, because it would have to cut at the waist to make the rounded part with the one leg down. Anyway, so I kind of roll my hips back and forth a little bit, or my shoulders back and forth a little bit. This video wasn't very much for seeing as much as just conversation. When I have my leg up like this, I'll pull on my whole muscle, not just the top layer of my skin, but I'll like roll it and try to pull it off the bone a little bit, or pull it back, and push down on my hip and stretch back when I pull. It's another way. And I turn and do it the other way too. Or just kind of like pinch around on the leg, like a claw like that to the muscle, just to kind of ease some of the pressure from the pain and the cramps, and hopefully to loosen some fat pockets around on the skin to release any chronic tension that's been held in a particular area. by moving the muscles around and things like that. Kind of saying hello to the body, saying, I'm here to help. Where do you need to be fixed, altered, cared for? Bring awareness back to. Give it time, understanding where awareness needs to be placed, what awareness is, and what self-desire is. I think it's still something that we continue to question on a daily basis because it depends on our personal emotional levels at the time we're going through the issues. Like, why did she wait that long to message me back? Any conflict that we had should have been able to be resolved within hours or minutes or moments, or shouldn't have become such a conflict. But conflict always rises into more of an emotional stand when people don't talk for a while, because then it brings up other questions of why the non-response is there. But when one always only cares to think of oneself, it's hard to relate to another person's situation because you can only really see your own. And going through my travels, I have to let go of what I would desire to what is there for me at the time. And a lot of times it would over exceed whatever I thought it should be. But I could only see that once I let go of the idea of what I thought it would be. Letting go of the ego is a very hard thing. Because every time you think you let go, it's right there back in your face. So it's like a constant learning and understanding. It's not like you go through it once and then you're good. But once you're able to understand the way it continues to evolve, then I think, you're able to see more of the big picture. And yeah, it's good to have a goal for the long game, but the steps you use to take to get there determine how long the game's gonna be. I can't get enough of my tea. It is so good. It is so good. So yeah, this one's my Infinite 8. I call it Infinite 8 because it has 8 herbs in it. They're all amazing. But one thing I love in it is because, like, I think it was the spearmint. Because I have spearmint and peppermint. So I think I put the spearmint in this one. And it's just a little bit because there's only one. And, I put a small ratio of it compared to the other ones because it's the mint and it was so strong. So it's like just like this perfect layer. It floats up in your mouth. You can feel the mint as you start to take the sip and it breathes into your body, right? But then as you're swallowing it, you don't taste the mint, you taste all the other flavors, like the raspberry and the rose hips, and you don't really taste the nettle, but there's like this sultry earthiness to it, so you know that's the nettle. And then it has like what is it, the African honey brush. Oh my gosh, I love that stuff so much. And it's so like a soft nutty floral. It goes perfectly with the anise seed, if I say that right. Yeah. And then with the raspberry leaf, it just mixes so well. And I know there's a couple more, but it's not in flow right now, so I'm not fully functioning. But yeah, I made a video about the tea. It's so good. Everybody that's had it's like so good. But yeah, I haven't gotten into the store yet because I've only made a few jars, and I need to make another batch because I already went through my batch. But I also want to make the complete 9. It'll have some of the herbs that this one has, but it'll be a little different because this one is more of a feminine tea, and the complete 9 is kind of like if you were forgetting your vitamins, it like would have most of them in it, because a lot of teas carry quite a few vitamins and things. Like that's why I picked the teas that I did for this one, because a lot of the teas I use for this recipe have calcium and magnesium and potassium, vitamin K, vitamin B, B12, B6, and a few other things that are really important for women in that time of the month, which ironically is also super important for growing hair. For hair growth and stuff like that. So I found that to be an interesting correlation. When I was designing this particular recipe. I'm gonna probably end up writing a whole book just about that one particular tea. It won't be a long book, probably be like 32 pages or something with illustrations, but eventually I'd get there. And just want to be able to explain the benefits, because like when I'm home, I drink this tea all day long. That's why I need to make another batch. I could drink 5 to 20 cups a day. I didn't pack any with me because the batch I had was almost gone, and I know I was going to be traveling a lot, and I didn't even know if I was going to be able to get around hot water, because normally I travel in my car, and I carry my own water with me because I love my Kangen water. I love to have that with me from my filtration system, because I make all of my tea with that and everything. But I didn't bring any of that with me because I was flying, and the no liquid thing on flying. So it was an experience. I mean, I haven't been on a plane in probably almost a decade. I mean, I don't remember. Maybe I went on once somewhere in between there, but I can't remember offhand. It's just been forever. It's hard for me to think back past a certain amount of years. I might have gone once or twice, because I know I flew to New York once. I know I flew to Ohio once in the past 10 years. But that was years ago, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, or more. I don't know. But, yeah, forever ago. Everywhere else I've always driven. I like to have all my stuff with me. So if I want to cook, I have all my spices, or if I have my skillet, or I have my own bed and my own pillows, my clothes, and whoever's with me and whatever they have. Usually, it used to be my son, but he doesn't like to travel anymore. It used to be my husband, but he's not with me anymore. And my other husband's passed. So I'm doing more of my traveling alone. So it was super fun to be able to travel with my boss, Tiffany. She's like my best friend now. Um, she's the only other person I've traveled with um, in any recent amount of time. Back in the day, before my kid, I used to travel with Ross, but he's passed too. So, yeah, I've been having kind of like a lot of reminiscing and things like that. This flow. Like I said, I was going through an emotional release when I started this video, and it's been coming up a lot. I'm not sure why I'm there with all of it, but I know water brings up a lot of emotion. Pisces is a water sign, so I'm kind of surprised a little bit because the beginning of this new moon and everything was beyond magical. Like the day of the new moon, I got to do so many wonderful things. I got to go to the beach on the new moon, which with the best tour guide. He was incredible. Showed me the coolest spot. We got to park on the beach, and then we got to do a healing in a restaurant. So that was pretty amazing. It was his first healing. He'd never been through something like that before. So I was very happy to have him be a part of the event. It was so cool. I love traveling and being there for someone. It's interesting how it happens, you know. I mean, if you watch my videos, you hear me talk about it all the time. I'll sit in my car and people knocking on my window. And they start talking to me, and yeah, or you know, I'll pass by someone that just is looking down at their feet, and I'll be like, hello. Or I'll be doing something and someone will come up to me and say hello. Yeah. I love those moments, but sometimes they can be intense. But this one was really magical because it was, you know, 3 generations. They had the baby, the grandma, and the mommy. And we gave the healing to the mommy. So it went through all of them. And then the gratitude from the owner of the establishment and everything. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful, beautiful new moon. That was the first time I ever shared a new moon event with someone either. So it was like all these new wonderful experiences. So that's why I was kind of surprised that I just went through this emotional release just now and all the things that I brought up, you know, because it's like I started missing my second husband again. And I'm like, why am I missing him? But yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine that wanted to hang out with me, but I was like, I don't know if I can because I met her through my husband. So it's kind of that emotional connection. I said, I don't know if I'm ready for something like that. And something in the conversation, and she responded to something I said is that's true love. And I guess that's what triggered my emotional release, missing him. I don't know. Because I've never had a love like that before, and the universe keeps telling my next love will be so much more than I ever, that it'll be my true soulmate, that I haven't never found my true soulmate yet. And I'm like, okay, you know, I had a pretty great day on the new moon. I had a pretty great week in Houston. So I know all these new things are in line to come about. Planning to work at a festival soon. You know, putting out to the universe to get my passport so I can do my world traveling like I've always wanted to do. But it's like, I don't know. At the same time, my dreams are confusing because they're not elaborate like I would think they would be. They're perplexing. Not, I mean, kind of complex. They don't flow. They're really jagged. They're spotty. Hard to follow. And usually when I'm like in the right good space, my dreams are easy to follow and easy to flow and understand. So I really don't understand the jagged fogginess of my dreams right now. They're kind of grungy, I guess. Not bad, just kind of grungy in comparison to where I would expect. Not so much expect, but I guess in a way, because I've been hearing so much from spirit guides and everything of all these wonderful things that are going to happen, but it's been hard for me to still picture all these wonderful things because it's still hard for me to let go of the love I miss, even though everything says I can't get it back. There's still a part of everything that says it will come back. And am I in that place to be able to walk away from it or not? I don't know. I don't like to overthink things, but I'm in flow right now, so this is the time for me to think about these things so I can release it before my flow is over. That's part of this process of us being a recluse during my flow, so I can work with my inner self. That's why I do this. It's the way of honoring my self-care every month, that I know that I'll have 3 to 4 days of self-reflection every month while I flow, while I go through this release process. I find it very empowering to do this way. I don't know if there's anyone else that does it this way. I honor all that do, and for anyone that never has, even if you just give yourself 1 day of quiet, stillness, aloneness, darkness, to go in and reflect of all the things that keep you stirred up, release them with your flow. Let them leave your body as the blood leaves your body. This is our natural time to cleanse. It's so important and it's so valuable, and no one can ever give you this time other than you and the universe. There's no amount of money that can just give you flow. Only the universe can give you flow, and I find mine works well with the new moon. So I always try to work my schedule around that, to know that I'll be home during that time of the new moon, or be close to earth to release myself upon the earth as I go through my flow. Understanding elements, I think, is the best way to go through this process, and representing them all while going through this process one way or the other, because we're all made up of the elements. Even if you don't want to follow astrology, you still have to think of the earth's components and how earth is made, and basic parts of it. I mean, you can pull it out to all these other principles and attributes and, extra, sub-subjects of things, but it comes down to your basic elements. You have earth, you have fire, you have water, and you have air. Your 4 basic elements. Now you can break your earth element down to what is it? Wood, metal, and stone. You know, it's just different attributes of earth itself. So it's still, that's why I say it's the basic four, because air, you can break that down into a lot of things because it all depends on your climate, your humidity, and how wet is your air, how cold is your air, how dry is your air, how hot is your air. You know, it works with all the elements constantly. You know, fire can't breathe without air. You know, water can't produce without air because there's oxygen in water. Think about that. You know, and earth can't produce without air because it's the substance, part of gravity that makes earth a solid molecule. But you know, it's all about the balance and the way we have these perception of things, of one being more than the other. We're not, we're all equal in our own ways, you know. I think I'm going to eat some plant-based ice cream. That means non-dairy ice cream, like maybe oat milk or almond milk, I can't remember. But I know it has chocolate and raspberries in it. I should do one of my cacao ceremony drinks. I have some of them pre-made for the store. I just haven't gotten the labels for them yet. That's why I haven't put them out yet. But I do want to make a second recipe because the first recipe has a little cayenne in it. And one of my friends says that she'll never do hot during her cycle. I don't like interesting. So I have to make one without. But I'll make it a little bit different, I think. I have to look into it. Anyway, I am going to go find some ice cream. I just wanted to share an episode of Flow and Flow. Thank you. Bless and remember, I love you, and I love me, and you love you, and I'll do me, and you do you, and we'll be good. You have amazing grand sleep, you beautiful souls.